Guys, howdy. Welcome to the channel. This is my first time doing a voiceover type video. Today we've got Sav in the chair. He's a very VVIP client of mine. You've probably seen him in a few videos if you've been watching my channel. Now before I get started, guys, I just want to explain my school of thought when it comes to barbering and what to expect in videos to come. So guys, I'm a big believer in not skipping steps or sacrificing quality, but doing so in an efficient way and in a timely fashion as well. I've worked at slow shops, I've worked at fast shops, bookings, walk-ins, everything in between. I'm currently at a shop that's a lot more fast-paced, so I've got to cut efficiently, guys. But that being said, I want everything to be as perfect as humanly possible when it comes to my cuts. Whether it's a scissor cut, standard haircut, beard trim, whatever it is, everything's to the best of my ability. I'll be sharing tips and tricks and stuff like that, especially things that I feel like barbers don't usually cover. Now let's get into it, guys. You see me saturating Sav's hair really well and getting it nice and wet. Notice the way we section the fringe off. I usually find myself doing that with crops and textured fringes. Treating the two as two different stages of the cut gives us better results and more accurate results, guys. Remember, every step we do, guys, we do it to cut with intention. Now that Sav has told me how much he wants to cut off and we've got our desired length, I'm going to start cutting by point cutting, guys. Point cutting now, if we want a textured look, can save us time later on. Because it saves us the hassle of cutting it blunt and then once we dry it, going back and then texturizing, point cutting again. Now we're making a profile section down the middle. I'm sure you guys have seen barbers do this. Some might think it's just, it's a fancy technique and whatever and this and that and there's no need for it. But it's so simple, but such a valuable technique to make sure everything's coming up evenly and consistently. Another benefit of the profile section is it is super quick to do, can be done in a super timely fashion. If you want, you could use clips as I've done here to pin down the sides whilst you work on that section. Now boom, look at that, easy. Go back to taking sections how we had done at the start, and now we've got a clear view of what needs to be cut, no guesswork. This is how we can do it so fast and so effective, because if the steps are done properly, everything is going to be super even. Now you can see me alternating between point cutting and cutting blunt as my scissors are super dull and they need a sharpen. But to my point I was making before, assuming we want texture in a cut, if we just point cut from the start, we won't have to go back and I won't have to texturize it once we dry it. Another super simple technique I never see barbers doing is the pull test. It's so quick, so easy, and immediately tells you if everything's even. Start doing this if you don't already. Guys, such a bad look if a client comes back and they go, sorry, this side's a lot longer than this side. And if you aren't a barber, you'd be blown away at the lack of care from barbers that I've worked with in the past and even currently work with. Not to diss anyone, but I've seen it firsthand for a long time. Barbers can be very careless, and it's just a lack of, I swear it's just being lazy. The pull test is such a simple thing. Everyone should do it. All we're doing now is connecting the sections we just cut to the front. If the fringe was longer and we had cut the top and the fringe separately, there'd be a big jump in length, and that's what we would be cutting off to connect. As Sav comes in regularly and the fringe is already super short, there's not much to take off. Alrighty, now for the back. Notice how I use my two fingers on the comb and drag it down and hold it in place. Then, whilst maintaining pressure with my fingers, I'm flicking out on either side to make my section. This can be used on the top as well when we make our profile guide. It's a cool little trick. Now we're cutting to our desired length. Each new section we take has still got a bit of the old section in it as our guide. Making our way across, clean sections, staying consistent. Now same method, just working the other way. And remember, when you're pulling out your sections, have good tension. Now you see me pulling out the hair the other way, just to cross check to make sure everything's even. Once again, pull test. All I'm doing now is connecting the top to the back, but there isn't much to take off. Bit of slide cutting action. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of barbers do this, and it's super popular for good reason. Super easy to do, super effective in creating more texture. We're closing the scissors not all the way, but closing them partially and slicing through. Using my texturizing scissors, I'm removing unwanted weight from the ridge, which is going to help with our transition from our fade to the top of the head. I've noticed a lot of Spanish barbers use this. Eric Gomez is a really good one you guys should check out. And I'm not sure how to say the other one's names. But the issue sometimes with clearing the bulk with your texturizing scissor after you've done a fade is removing that weight off the ridge once you've done your fade could kind of mess up the fade. The densities and stuff like that. That's why it's better, I think, to do it before. Especially on finer hair. If you go after you've done your fade and you hit the ridge with the texturizing scissors to take weight, finer hair, you'll mess up the fade, almost guaranteed. Thicker hair's a bit more forgiving in that sense. What I'm doing now is optional and yet another technique to add texture. If you've never used it or you want to use it, it's a nice little trick to add to your repertoire. All you've got to do is grab a razor, put it in your straight razor, and come through how I'm doing now. You'll see a lot of hairdressers do this. Sometimes they do full haircuts just with the razor. If you're someone that likes removing weight with your texturizing scissors and you prefer that, absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. Do what works for you. Alrighty guys, now we are giving it a nice drying it properly. I add a bit of sea salt spray to bring out all that texture we work so hard to get. And then prepping just to get ready for all that clipper work. Before taking the fade, I'm going to do the lineup. I'm a big fan these days of doing the lineup first because it can be tricky, guys. It requires a lot of effort. Luckily for me, Sav has a really good hairline, but some people's hairlines are really tricky, so it's a lot of effort. I see it as just getting the hard bit out of the way. And we've all been there. When we start cutting hair, everybody does the fade first, right? You do the fade and then you do the C cup or the vertical bar, but sometimes you notice maybe I've taken a bit too much off this side or that side. But whereas you line everything up and edge everything up first, it gives you an idea of where your perimeter is. And you can use that weight to your advantage, or yeah, just acts as more of a visual, I'd say. So yeah, it's just preference another day. So see how you go and try it, see what works best for you. So what I've done here with the Sav is I've started with a number 3 coming down, and then I've started with a 2 with the grain, and then again we ended with a 1.5 just until I'm happy with how the hair is laying, to get rid of those curls and kinks at the front, and then we can kind of trim her over comb and make sure it's laying flat. That's the secret to getting a nice crispy hairline, guys. The hair has to be laying flat and it's going to be tapered in, or else it's going to kink out. How you actually do the lineup is completely up to you. Some barbers start from the middle and work their way to the sides, which I personally prefer. Some people do the vertical bars first, so you have a bit of a like structure of where you're going to end up. Just make sure you're standing in front of your client, or you turn their head so they're facing you. Now, before we start our fade, I want to prep our canvas. But what I'm going to do is put the comb against Sav's head. I do this with all my clients. And what that's going to do is show me where Sav's head starts to curve. And I want to work under that with my fade. Reason being, when we look straight at Sav and he looks into the mirror, it's going to be nice and square on the sides. And we don't take it too high up to where it starts to curve in and create like a pineapple look. If you've ever done a fade, or you're a new barber and you always wonder why you kind of go too high and then the contrast and gradients doesn't look good, it's because you haven't kept in mind or followed the shape of the head. So super simple. You're going to put the comb against the head and you're going to see where his head starts to curve and work under that. So now I'm putting in my initial guideline, keeping in mind Sav likes his C cup dark and heavy, hence why it's dipped towards the front like that. So now I've gotten my 0 gapped trimmers and I'm just pushing down the weight for extra separation. Lining up the back now or later, completely up to you. We've opted for a round shape in the back. I think previously we'd done a V, but Seth asked me what I like, and I think rounded always looks better, personally. Because I'm working in a tighter spot, a more confined spot, I'm going to fade up. As personally, I find like I've got more control of spacing that way. I've got a few different fade techniques for different situations, but on Sav's head, I've cut it, a million times now, so I just know, for me, this works better for Sav. Starting with my no guard open, so 0.5. Making sure all my sections and panels are consistent, and I go through them a few times, a few passes, to make sure they're all even. Now I'm going to close that lever all the way, so it's a 0. That bottom line of the panel is going to be moved to the halfway point, and then we're going to open the lever halfway and then continue fading it up. Next, one guard fully open, so a 1.5, creating our next guideline, next section. So the next step will be the 0.5 guard, 3/4 open, and just gradually closing the lever until I'm happy with how it's fading out. Unfortunately, I think I might have not filmed this part or just cut it. Next step after that would be the 2 guard open. Then finally coming through with the 1.5 guard with 3/4 open lever, and then just closing it until I'm happy with how it's faded out. And then if we need to go back and refine, definitely we'll do that and just clean up any dark spots. What you see me doing now with the straight razor is completely optional. I just feel like it helps create another layer of separation. So later on when we come through with our foil shavers, it just transitions well to our 0. With my 0 gap trimmers, I'm going to flip them, and just under the top of the weight we left, I'm going to start pressing in, making more separation, and then kind of blending it up. Then we come through with our trimmers, just clean up all that bulk, take it all off, and then come through with the foil shavers. If you're wondering why we leave the weight rather than just removing it all, which you can do if you like, leaving the weight and then pushing down how we did with the trimmers, and then using the straight razor, it's all just more layers of separation. And then when you come through with the foil shaver, it's just a seamless, blurry transition. Sometimes if you just put in your guideline, clean up the trimmers, then foil shave it, it can leave harsh lines, which is what we're trying to avoid. So yeah, it's just another method of doing things, but either way could work. I find this way is just a bit better. Alrighty, so now the opposite side, same everything, same method, same spacing, same guidelines, everything, and trying to keep it as symmetrical as possible. Alrighty, adding some finishing touches, some texture powder. I think texture powder looks really good in Sav's hair. You can use wax or whatever, just preference, guys. If you do not have a white pencil, I highly advise you get one. It takes your cuts to that next level. In photos, in videos, they're like $5. Go to your local pharmacy. It's like a makeup pencil. One tip I will say is when applying, put it like half on the hair and half on the skin. Whether it's on the C cup or on the back of the neck like you can see me doing with Sav. I think I used to put it too much on the skin and it kind of looked whack and unnatural. So yeah, apply it like 50-50, like half on the skin, and then brush it off with like your fade brush of your finger. Now you see me getting some after shots for the gram, for whatever. Look how good that looks, guys. Boom. Everything came together. We did everything we had to do properly. All the small steps, easy, effective, simple, whatever. Don't complicate it. And look how good that looks. Guys, thank you so much for watching my video. If you got some value out of it, please, please, please subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Even if you didn't get value out of it, you should do all that. But anyway, more to come. If you enjoyed that voiceover kind of concept, let me know. If you'd like me to cover other stuff, let me know as well. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.